Beacon Press Audio presents Revive Us Again, Vision and Action in Moral Organizing by the Reverend Dr. William J. Barber II, with the Reverend Dr. Liz Theoharis, and the Reverend Dr. Rick Lowry. This audiobook is narrated by J.D. Jackson, Erin Bennett, and Tom Rivera. Published by Beacon Press Audio, 2018.
Introduction. Preaching and Prophetic Witness in the Public Square. The Reverend Dr. William J. Barber II. In the fall of 2017, I traveled to El Paso, Texas, to participate in a Hugs Not Walls action with the Border Network for Human Rights. Early on a Sunday morning, after listening to the stories of families that had been impacted by extreme anti-immigration policies, I waded into the Rio Grande with Maria, a grandmother who has been separated from her husband and children. She had not seen one of her sons in 16 years. We were up to our knees in muddy water, but Maria's tears rebaptized me as she held the child she'd born and raised for 5 precious minutes in the middle of a river. I thought of James Baldwin's words, "We made the world we're living in, and we have to make it over." Remaking America will require nothing less than a moral revival. Our inhumanity toward families like Maria's is about something deeper than policy difference or economic transition. It is a moral crisis rooted in this nation's original sins of the genocide of indigenous people and race-based slavery. Though this is not the first time we face the demons of systemic racism, their capacity to consume us has rarely been more palpable in our common life. To survive, America must be born again. The fundamental values of our deepest moral and religious traditions are love, truth, grace, justice, care of family, community, and shared prosperity. But these values are under assault. As systemic racism deconstructs our national reality, more and more people are pushed into poverty, while the rich get richer. Hard-won voting rights are under constant assault. Lawmakers target African Americans with almost surgical precision to gain partisan advantage in elections, as the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit ruled in overturning a 2013 North Carolina law limiting voting options. Similarly, emergency manager laws in Michigan and elsewhere are replacing elected leaders with appointed technocrats. The wealthiest get ever greater tax cuts, while life-saving social programs are threatened and cut off. Public education is undermined by underfunding, by attacks on teachers' unions, and by the undemocratic influence exercised by wealthy funders. Growing numbers of people can't go to the doctor or get their medicine because of the cost. Supports that do exist are under attack, and insurers, drug companies, big hospital chains, and their financiers are making billions in the process. Job training, food security, and community economic development programs are on the chopping block. Women are too often abused and assaulted, while people of color, immigrants, and members of the LGBTQIA community are treated as scapegoats to distract from devastating political and economic policies that keep wages low, employment insecure, and workers unorganized. Our air and water are poisoned by hugely profitable corporations who are almost never held accountable for their actions. Hundreds of billions are spent on a permanent war economy, escalating violence around the world and lining the pockets of military contractors. The only remedy for our moral crisis is a transformed national heart, a moral movement for families and communities rooted in the constitutional and sacred values of compassion, empathy, and courageous dedication to the common good. This movement must be broad-based and welcoming to all, embracing the great diversity of religious and non-religious moral traditions of our people. It must be grounded in a fundamental commitment to the general welfare, the basic moral conviction expressed in Leviticus 19's call to love your
Sample complete. Ready to continue?